Hello young artists, we're here to learn how to draw a castle. This is going to be rather simple because we all know how to draw geometrical shapes. So I'm starting off here by drawing a rectangle. So I have positioned the rectangle in the middle of the page. Now up here I'm creating another one, like so. I'm using a pencil and pressing lightly. Like this, if we need to, we can rub out any errors, okay? This is the middle of my castle doorway and I'm going to create an archway here, like so. So this is the door of my castle and I like to create a double thickness here, like so. This is where we have the keystone. The keystone of the doorway is actually bigger, and then these are the smaller pieces to the doorway. So like so, just making them little rectangles that fan out like this. So here I am just sketching this in lightly, and this can be my door. We'll come back to that later. Now my castle has little areas. You can actually do a light line here, but little rectangles, or squares rather, I should say. They can be rectangles if you want them longer and thinner. All right, so that's the top part. And likewise with these up here. So I'll do the same over here. Roughly we've got 4 of them. It depends on how big your rectangle is, like so. I'm going to place now a window here and a window there. There are arch-shaped windows. You can do the same with the little bricks going around here, like that. This is a very simple castle. I can show you a few others later on. Now from the bottom of your doorway, I'm actually going outwards. This is for where my drawbridge is. So that's the middle of the door, that goes straight down. And then these fan out this way and this way, so we get the drawbridge. This here is where we have the grass along the edgeway, like that. A little bit of grass, bit of zigzag, like so, okay? Now, I'm putting little ripples. This is the moat. In the days, medieval time, they would have castles with drawbridges and water surrounding it, and that prevented people from getting into the castle. Now for my doorway, I'm going to do as if my door is made of thick wooden panels, and then you can create like timber type patterns on your doorway. These are the knots in the timber, like so. Then you can add lines, like so. You can add pieces that are like the metal for the doorway, like this. You can see all the little extra bits. Some of these are optional if you want a simple one. And here we have the big doorknobs here, okay? Some castles have flags on them, so you may want to add flags like so. Let's say if we put a flag here, and here maybe a higher one in the middle. The flag moves in the wind, so if you do want to have flags like I have, note that I have got them going in the same direction. You can't have wind going one way and the other. Then I don't know if you want to put someone in the dragon, a dragon in your window, or a prince or a princess, or someone trapped in a tower. That's totally up to you. One other thing I would add now is the wall texture. Okay, in those days they used large, big stones, so I'm just randomly having rectangles like so that are created here and there to give the texture of brickwork. So in those days there were unusual stones that were gathered from far away and put into the buildings, like so. You may want to create a pine tree on the side. And like so. You can use your imagination and add anything else. You might want more than one window, perhaps you want a square window. But roughly, that's my sketch for my castle. A different type to the other one I've done. I'm calling this castle number 2. Got a rectangle and I've got another one but going in the opposite direction. These I'm going to change into cylinders. So try to make them the same size. So in this case, I'm going down a little further and I'm curving this like this. It's almost like adding a semicircle down the bottom. Right, so these are going to be cylinders. You may want to add little windows like so to your castle. Try to line them up. 1, 2. Now with this castle, we're going to add triangles up the top. So these are the points. An easier way is to have a straight line and then you bring this out to the either side and I a little bit past it, as you can see, and then this can curve around as well. So you can rub out the inside there and that becomes the roof of your castle. Depends on the castle that you have. There are so many different ones and it can have a little flag positioned at the top going in the same direction. Over here, very lightly, it's my guideline to having these little sections here for my castle. And then remembering, you erase those bits there. My doorway, like so. It's like an arch. I think of it like an egg shape. Goes like that. And I like to do an inner one and then create my brickwork. This is my keystone on my door. These are the bricks that go around it. Usually doorways were quite grand. You may want your castle to have your initial in your keystone. So I could have an A on my doorway. Then from here, this is my drawbridge. So straight line and then carry these, fan these out so they're all much the same distance across there, but then they fan out like so. Here's another line that needs rubbing out, so our cylinders go there. Here we can have a bit of grass-like markings here. And this is all the underneath work before you add colour, right? Because this is a cone shape, these lines curve. I've divided it into 4, and then you can add like tile shapes that are part of that roof, making it all the more interesting. And likewise over there. And then random bricks. Because this one is circular, because it's a cylinder, all these lines have a slight curve to them and we can actually create these brick-like textures. They don't have to be all over. Some people like to draw them all over, but in this case, this works as well, just to have that. And if you want to, you can even shade these a little inside, or you may want to have a little person looking out the window. There's my rough sketch, and like so. And we've got the beginnings of the castle of our dreams. So you can create a castle. Some people like to add other pieces. You might want to add a piece in the middle and have a bigger triangle here that's even higher. That can go there, but that's optional. I think I like to have mine just like this to make that my castle. You might even want to add little flags on here. Might be a special festive day in Fairyland Okay. And then here, my ripples of water. May want to do the occasional little fish. For those of you who don't do fish too well, try to avoid where we do this and this crosses over like that. I try to just pretend that it's like an egg shape, and when you come to there, you just expand that out so you can have a little fish. Or you may want to have a crocodile peeking out of the water. Like so, in the moat. Usually the moat that surrounded the castle edge was to stop people coming in. They would draw the bridge upwards, and that would then prevent anyone from getting in. They would fall into the water. If you want, you can also have little flat sort of clouds off in the distance, making the clouds smaller as they were further away. And so that's my rough sketch of my castle with its lovely big doorway. Ta-da!